I didn't. There's the magic words. It means we can get started. Okay, so let's start here. I'm gonna put up a little slide deck here, and I'll walk through this for those of you who haven't had the chance to see this. We're hoping actually that we can run this thing like every month. So Shirley, I can see you, and can you give me a thumbs up if you can see all, because I can only actually on my screen see you. So can you see this? Can everybody see this? Even if you can. Can you see this? And it's just the slide that says "Welcome to Rotary." You guys see that? Okay, yep. So now the next thing, did it change? Are you on? Can you see the next slide? Did it change? It says Rotary is a service organization.
No.
No, it didn't change. Okay, hang on a second. So settings. All right, Rotary is an international service organization. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, that means we're going in the right direction. All right, so Rotary is an international service organization, and that's basically what we do is we provide service to our local communities, our national communities, statewide communities, and internationally all around the world. Now, there are, and I'll kind of get into the numbers here just in a couple of slides. I put this slide up here because, as Nancy was saying, we do have an international convention every year at some place on the planet, right? So this year, 2023, we had it in Melbourne, Australia. And so next year, 2024, we're having it in Singapore. 2025 will be in Calgary. 2026 will be in Taipei, Taiwan. And our lucky day, 2027, we're going to have it here in Honolulu. So we are an international organization of really actually tens of thousands of people, and I'll move on and talk about that. So here are the sort of the core values of what Rotary is about, right? So Rotary was started basically as a fellowship group and a networking group, and then it grew into a service group. But in Rotary, people here, went to fellowship, like the large words that are on there: fellowship, diversity, integrity, service, leadership. It's a fabulous organization. It's probably, I kind of bias myself, but one of the top service organizations in the entire planet. So we're a network of 46,000 clubs, and every one of these little dots in there represents a club. So we've got 46,000 clubs around the world in over 200 countries. And so one of the things about going to an international convention is you get to see the width and breadth and enormity of what Rotary is about. And it's not even really the international convention. I mean, you can go to that. But if you go to something like even like the president-elect's training, the PETS training, you can see like, wow, this is a big thing, way bigger than just my little club and wherever you're at. And like some of us, Connie was there, Roz was there, Nancy was there at the zone training, where we had all the clubs in our zone was there at a training. It gives you an idea of how big and how really grounded Rotary is around the world. Okay, so here's a few numbers, right? 46,000 clubs, 1.4 Rotarians around the world. Rotaract clubs. So Rotaract clubs are basically young Rotarians, right? And so they're in a lot of areas like the Young Professionals group, and that's a group that's 18 to 30. It goes 18 to actually 35 years old. Interact are high school clubs, right? And so you can be an Interact member from 12 years old up to 18 years old. And there's 25,000 of those interactors. And we have actually really pretty active Interact groups here on the Big Island. We're split up into 537 districts around the world. We combine those districts into into what we call zones. And there's 35 zones and, like I said, 220 countries. Okay, I'm trying to figure out why this thing doesn't move. Okay, hang on. Okay, so District 5000, which is basically Hawaii, right? The entire state of Hawaii. We've got about 1,500 Rotarians. It kind of goes up and down a little bit. We've got 53 clubs here, including 2 e-clubs, and our e-clubs are online. We've got 7 Rotaract clubs from age like 18 to 35. We've got 30 Interact clubs, 12 to 18 years old. And we got 2 community core groups. And community core groups are basically like friends of Rotary. They're not actually Rotary members, but they're basically people that are there that want to participate in Rotary projects. So we have a couple of those in our district. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Rotary District 5000, which all of you are in or will potentially be in. So Mark Merriam is currently our district governor, and the district governor is basically like the CEO of Rotary for our district, District 5000. So all of those numbers that I told you, about 1,500 members, 53 clubs, all the Interact and Rotaract clubs, Mark presides over that, and he's basically sort of our grand boobah for the year. And so the leadership year goes from July 1 to June 30th. So on June 30th, our leadership will change, and the next person up will be Ted Fagel. Ted was a past president and a past assistant governor from the island of Kauai, and he'll be the next district governor starting on July 1. After he's done, then Nancy will take over, and when she's done, then I'll take over. There's usually 4 people in the leadership line at one time in our district. Okay, so now our district team that manages all of the stuff that we do in our district, it's really a huge group of folks, actually dozens of people, including all the club presidents from all over our district across the state of Hawaii. Now, Rotary was started in 1905 by an attorney named Paul Harris. He's the guy on the very right side of this picture, and he started it basically to have a fellowship and networking group, and then, like I said, it developed into service. Now, true fact that Rotary, they started calling it the Rotary Club because the meeting rotated amongst each one of these guys, their offices every week. So as it got bigger, of course, it rotated over more people, but that actually is, in fact, how Rotary got its name. Okay, so in 1910, Rotary International was born because it started going out over the boundaries of the United States into Canada. And by 1925, there were Rotary clubs on 6 continents, including Hawaii. So the first Rotary Club, the Rotary Club of Honolulu, was chartered in 1915 with 29 members. And then the next Rotary Club in Hawaii was chartered when? 1920, and it was where? It was at Hilo. So that was the next Rotary Club in Hawaii. Okay, so Rotary has its own international charitable foundation, and most of the people that are members of Rotary, we contribute annually to the foundation, and these funds are put into service around the world. So when there's like a polio outbreak, in 1984, Rotary decided, hey, we're going to attack and take polio off the face of the earth, and they've been just pretty much successful doing that. There's only just a few more cases out there, but these funds that we donate, they're in a system that a portion of that comes back to us locally, and we get to use it in local projects like our Puna Lava Relief Fund. That in 2018 we had a big disaster over here, and Rotary funds were just pouring in here from all over the world. So we have actually one of the best charitable foundations on the entire planet. and that's Rotary International Fund. Okay, so what does Rotary do? What are the focuses? So Rotary focuses on 7 things around the world, right? Promoting peace, and we have actually a District 5000. These peace poles, and I'll show you a picture of it a little bit later. These peace poles, we have actually, I think, in our state, the most peace poles of any state that's out there in the United States, because we just have a really crazy peace group that wants to put them up everywhere. So you'll see them putting up there. So promoting peace, fighting disease, polio is something. When COVID came out, we actually activated a whole group of people that were out there getting people vaccinated for COVID, providing clean water and sanitation, supporting mothers and children, supporting education, and then growing local economies. So this is where all the most of the money that goes into our foundation, it gets distributed around the world to work with these 6 areas, and we just recently added a 7th area, which is the protecting the environment. And so more than you can see that more than 18 million in foundation global grant funding has been allocated to the environment related projects over the last 5 years. So Rotary is super into the environment. Okay, so those are the 7 areas of focus, basically. All right, so what do Rotarians do? This is a picture of some of our local Rotarians in Honolulu. What do we actually do? Well, first, we solve a lot of problems, right? No challenge is too big for us. We immunize children against polio. Here on Hawaii Island, we had a community of Marshallese down in Ocean View who had a real problem trying to get fresh water into their houses. And we solved the problem by raising up over $50,000 to get them like a 4-wheel drive vehicle and tanks and pumps and hoses so they can transport clean water from the county spigot, which has clean water, up into their homes. So we are first and foremost problem solvers. We work together, right? We are people of action. So now across the state, clubs come together. Here in East Hawaii, we're really used to working together. There's 5 clubs here on projects, because we know that if we work together as a group, that our impact can be greater, and that's one of the things that we try to do in Rotary, is to really increase our impact out there. We have regular meetings now. A lot of clubs now, since after the pandemic, they've gone back to regular meetings in person, but a lot of clubs still meet virtually, and a lot of them have hybrid meetings where there's an in-person meeting and there's also a virtual component of that. But Rotary has changed a lot. I mean, it used to be mandatory attendance, and you had to be there. And if you missed the meeting, you had to make up the meeting or pay a fine. It used to be really rigid and pretty stringent, but now they've relaxed it more so that more people can access Rotary. So now we have things like satellite clubs, which are basically a smaller version of a regular club that may meet at a different time, that may focus on different things like an eco club. We have cause-based clubs now, which are really kind of cool, like Stevenson, and then is part of the eco club group in Kaka'ako. We serve the community, and that's really pretty much the main reason why, or one of the main reasons why people join Rotary, right? Is that, you get to a point in your life where you think, it's time for me to give back to my community. And when they start looking around at what's the best way to do it, it's joining an organization like Rotary, whose main function is to serve the community. We work with youth. So we have, actually right now, a lot of our group is on the HYRF foundation meeting, and that provides scholarships to a lot of our young leaders out there. We have these RILA programs, and it's Rotary Youth Leadership Academy or awards, they call it. And we have this annually throughout the state that really focuses on developing leadership in our young people through what Rotary espouses. And some of the values that we were looking at earlier, we'll walk through those again. But our work with youth is super, super important. And we literally work with hundreds of youth across the entire state and actually even the world. So, all right, we connect with our school community. So a lot of Rotary clubs, like our clubs, connect in. They do projects where we take dictionaries into the schools. We have a reading project right here where we read to the kids that are there. We actually go in there and help them do service projects. A lot of them, like in this one picture you can see, we raise up school supplies, backpacks, and all that for children in our community. So we're very, very active in the schools. And then also we're developing young leaders that are out there. So if and I tell people that young people that are sort of in their career and they're working their way up through their business, a lot of times you don't really have access to leadership training within either your company or your particular area of work. But if you come into Rotary, there's opportunities to develop leadership skills. I mean, you could come in and as a new person in a few years, you could be president of your Rotary club. And that's something that looks really great on your resume, and it allows you to connect and network with a lot of really important people who are also part of Rotary, but then go through all of the training. And the training in Rotary is really great, especially on the leadership side, where you can get around other Rotarians that are trying to develop their leadership skills. And it's not just really for young people. I mean, we have people that are just, recently retired in their 60s who decide, what, now I want to do something for the community. I've never really had a leadership role, but I'm going to take the training and do that. So, Zeta's on the call over here. She's our club president now. And 3 years ago, she would never really thought that at 68 years old, she'd be a club president. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we're done. Okay, we support nonprofits that are out there. Honestly, a lot of the nonprofits that are out there, they depend on people on Rotary to help them because one, we have manpower, we have people that are really interested in serving, and Rotary has assets. Like we do fundraisings. We're able to bring our resources in and support a lot of the nonprofits that are out there. So a lot of times we'll go to these national, international meetings, and they ask us, well, how do you guys find your projects? And we're always kind of funny. It's a funny thing because in Hawaii, the nonprofits come to us and they say, hey, can you help us do this? Can you help us raise money for this? Help us with school supplies. So we never have a shortage of projects for our Rotary clubs to participate in. Okay, we also do, local and worldwide crisis response, right? So when the whole thing in Ukraine started up, Rotary was there, provided a lot of on-the-ground response that helped them out. When we had our situation here on the Big Island with the Puna lava relief, people were there recently, a few months ago, when we had the Lahaina fires. I mean, we had in the first 60 days, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, we had $2 million flow in here into our district foundation to help the people that were affected by the Lahaina fires. So it's really, really great to be part of an organization that can respond like that. And we because we don't have all this red tape and procurement process or whatever, we can actually respond much faster than any government agency can. We're a group of lifetime learners, and so You know, we have a really active website that's out there. This is a picture of that. If you become a Rotary member, many of you are, you get a monthly Rotary magazine that is just full of stuff about Rotary, about things that Rotary is doing worldwide, about areas in which we can provide help and assistance. So it's really great. The picture of this gentleman up on the screen is Arjun, and Arjun is one of the heads, the co-chair of our global project. So they do projects all over. I think there was one we just finished in Nepal. Nancy was on one we just did in October to Fiji, and we could talk a little bit about those. But we have an opportunity to help people not just locally but around the planet. Okay, so why would we want to be a part of Rotary? So here's some good reasons, right? We get a chance to really connect with community leaders, right? Because first and foremost, the leaders in our community, all the mayors, the governors, they know that somebody like Rotary is essential in being able to do service work, that can do stuff that the government just isn't capable of doing, simply because they have so many rules and regulations, but Rotary can respond because we have people that are willing to do it, we have resources, and we have an ability to do it. So a great opportunity if you're a young person to connect with community leaders. That's our mayor there, Mitch Roth on the Big Island, who is a Rotarian, a member of the Rotary Club of Hilo. Yeah. We can really impact our communities, and the way in which we do that, of course, is we can get out there and do projects that will help the community. This little vacant lot that was out there, this picture is several years old, is now the Centennial Park in the middle of Waikiki, that was built and directed a lot with Rotary help and Rotary funds. So we are able to impact our community in great ways. And so one of the things that you learn about leadership, that it's not really about power, it's really about impact, right? And so if you're a person that wants, at any stage of your life, wants to start developing leadership skills, Rotary has all of the elements to be able to do that. We have a partnership with Toastmasters International. So, you know, if it's public speaking and something that you want to develop for yourself, you have the total opportunity to do that. Big thing for me, I mean, I didn't realize this getting into Rotary, is that you develop lifetime relationships with people that, you know, you think to yourself before you got into Rotary, wow, you know, I'm just around a quality group of people. I always tell the story a lot. Well, like when I was a kid and I asked my dad what was I going to be when I grew up, and he always said, you're going to be whatever you're around the most. So if you're around great people, you'll be a great person. If you're around bad people, you'll be a bad person. So once I got into Rotary, I really saw the importance of that. So creating lifelong relationships is a great thing. You know, it's a super nurturing environment for families. I know Zeta and I have a pretty big family. We have kids, we have grandkids, we have great grandkids now, and it's an excellent way to have young people, even children, around Rotary, because it gets them off of, you know, it's about me. It gets them starting to think about, well, maybe there's a purpose in life bigger than just me. Okay. And then it gives you a chance as a human being to really to grow as a human being. Because I think, at least for me, after I joined Rotary, I began to be more introspective about, wow, you know, now I have opportunity to really grow as a human being. And by growing as a human being, it's really about, can I get more onto a line where I can get a purpose in life bigger than just me. So, okay, end of the sermon. We'll pass the hat around now. So take Venmo. So, okay, so let's, if there's any questions out there, you can ask some questions now. Otherwise, I wanted to engage a few of our members that are here and just let them talk about their particular journey in Rotary and and what was it about Rotary that attracted them to Rotary, and why they continue to be in Rotary today. And I see our past district governor, my Rotary cohort, Naomi, on. And so Naomi, since you might have to leave to go to another meeting, why don't we start with you?
Oh, sorry. I was on the HRYF scholarship training, and they're done. They're done.
Yeah. Oh, wow. They're done. Okay, fast already. Well, Naomi actually is is really one of the glue people in our district that keeps this whole kind of thing together. And so she is, the cat's giving a thumbs up. So you want to just talk for a minute or so? Naomi's got a great story, been in Rotary a long time and have contributed a lot and tell us your reasons for doing that.
Okay. When I was a banker, and when you're a banker, you got to go meet customers. So for many years, people would ask me to join Rotary, and I never wanted to, because my image of Rotary was a bunch of old guys having lunch together, and I didn't want to have lunch together with the same people every week. And so I never joined for many years, but when I got moved to another community and they didn't have a valid active business community or an association, I did finally join. And when you uncover what Rotary does, it's just amazing, all the layers that Rotary has and all the amazing things. You might see what your club is doing, but when you see what the district is doing, what you see what we're doing internationally, it's just mind-boggling of how much good we do in the world. So I encourage people to uncover those layers and find out what's going to resonate for you and make it a meaningful experience to be in Rotary, because we do so much good. We touch so many people in good ways that it's amazing. It's amazing organization.
Yeah. Thanks, Naomi. I got to tell you, I've worked like almost daily with Naomi for the last 5 years, and it's been really great. A lot of her knowledge and expertise, and just her feelings about Rotary have, obviously rubbed off on me. But we have some other really kind of compelling stories. Kat, I know that you're somewhere off in the world, and so tell us about your Rotary journey and why you're here and what keeps you here and all of that.
Well, I was like you, Naomi. Steve Yoshida pursued me for a long time to become a Rotarian. And I didn't especially like the idea of going to lunch with the guys every week. And it was hard for me because I wasn't in one place all the time. But I'm here on the Big Island right now. My son has a 7-week-old. So our club, We Rotary, is virtual, and we're having an outsized impact on the peace initiatives of Rotary. For example, one of our Rotarians, who was a former president of our club, Ray Matsumiya, is working with Al Jubitz to create a peace marketplace in the Rotary International Conventions. That happened in Melbourne. And along the way, we've helped with replacing prosthetic hands. We've had an impact on a global scale, and that is very nourishing to our hearts. Many of us have had successful business careers, and we get to a point and ask, what more is there to life? And contributing to others in meaningful ways that last is a way that Rotary has been very important in my life and in the Rotarians that we touch. And yay, Naomi, and yay, Benson, and all of the Rotary leaders who are here carrying the Rotary flag forward. That's all.
Thanks, Kat. Thanks. Really great to hear from you. I'm glad you're on the Big Island, because man, every time I see you, I never know where you are. Like, I know you're out there somewhere in the world, but it's great that you're on the Big Island today. So so Eva, I wanted you to talk. So Eva is with the Rotary Club of Waikiki, and she is like one of the most active Rotarians. She's on about every time I turn my Zoom on for some training. Eva is always the first one to log in. So Eva, tell us a little bit about your, how you got into Rotary, why you're in Rotary, why you're so active in Rotary.
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes. You're good.
Okay. Why I joined the Rotary when I was teenager in Hong Kong. I heard about Rotary Cup a lot to help people international. So at that time, I still young. I don't have financial to help. I don't have time to help because I have to go to school. After school I have to work. So for my finances, so I didn't have a chance to join. Then I immigrated to Hawaii. For 37 years, and I help people. I help the community, but one day I talked to my friend Barina Pun. She come to my flower shop at Chinatown Chinese Culture Plaza, my flower shop. So she told me, "Oh, you like to help people?" I said, "Yes, but I don't have a platform to help more people and more wider area. I only help the homeless and help the people, my friends around me, and or the school, but I don't have any chance to help more." So she told me that, "Do you heard about Rotary Cup?" I said, "Yes, when I was a teenager, but I don't know where it is." And then she said, "Oh, I can introduce you to be a Rotarian." I said, "Oh, please, thank you." And then she introduced me to the Rotary Cup of Waikiki. I was so happy. She took me to the lunch meeting couple times. I really excited when I joined the meeting. I watched the Rotary Cup, how to help people, how to help the international, how to help the children. I'm really excited about it. I keep asking when I can join the member. And then finally, December of 2018, my sponsor, Mr. Royal King, let me to join in. So I be a Rotarian. So every day, I'm learning from Rotary Cup. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Eva.
Hey, Benson,
Yes,
Benson, can I add for Eva? Eva jumped in and she did projects cleaning up the Waikiki beach like almost weekly. She was the community service chair. She is so giving. And when you went to the Aulani district conference, all of the flowers on the tables, that was from Eva. And guess what? She's president-elect now.
yeah, president-elect. Woohoo! Yeah,
Thank you, Naomi.
yeah. So, Kumiko, I wanted you to come on since you're like a relatively new member, Rotary Club of Hilo Bay, and what's your impression so far? I mean, do you have any questions? I know this is a lot all at one time. Do you have any questions or any thoughts, or what are your impressions of what you've seen so far? And how did you get to become a member?
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So my colleague, I'm working at the Solar Telescope, and I am astronomer, and my astronomer friend Junichi Nomaru is a member of Rotary Hilo Bay, and he just went back to Japan. So I succeeded his role. And yeah, that's why. And actually, I confess, I'm a very new member, but actually, I'm a little bit familiar with Rotary because my father, so I am Japanese, so but my father was a very devoted Rotarian when he's already passed away, but he had been serving for 40 years or 50 years in Japan. So when I was a little kid, I joined Rotary family Christmas party or so when Junichi-san asked me to join the club, I thought, oh, it's time for me to join. So I feel very I'm a very new person, but I feel very comfortable to join the weekly meeting. So yeah, so I'm happy to listen some community leaders talk every Wednesday. It's so impressive for me. So yeah, actually I'm looking for my opportunity, how to start my community service. And actually, I have been doing many public outreach of astronomy. So I visited schools or invited school to our facility. So maybe I can connect my work and some local community service. So yeah, I'm still learning. And thank you so much for asking me.
Yeah, that is great. So you're the new Junichi. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really great. So
Yeah, he's so great.
everybody's
So
like,
I'm really too.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a wonderful thing. So Paul Bagley's joining us. He's on the Big Island as well, and he's actually a prospective member, and our beloved Mr. Kimo Becker has already contacted Paul to be a part of their club. So Paul, just wanted to get your impression of what you've learned today, and if you have any questions or thoughts about it.
Thanks kindly. No, I have had a chance to go to a number of meetings. Because of where I live geographically, it's kind of like up in the air as to what would work best for me in terms of meeting times and such. I'm sold. I just need to know what to do so I can sign the paperwork and send a check.
All right, good. Hey, yeah, new member. All right, Connie, you're doing a good job with memberships. So Connie, let me have you talk for a couple of minutes. Connie is our district membership chair, and it's actually part of her job is to help to develop membership in all the clubs, and so part of it is helping people to learn information about Rotary. So go ahead, Connie.
Hi, everyone. So what do you want me to do? Rotary story or something else?
Yeah, just to talk about your Rotary story or your impression of Rotary, or what membership's trying to do. You got the floor or the screen.
It's 2 minutes, huh?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
No, me. Well, you know what? I actually had no interest in Rotary at all, and it was Nancy Cabral who came. I guess she was a friend and a business associate, and she heard that I was going through a divorce, and so she came into my office and just, if any of you know Nancy, well, get ready. In a few years, you will. But she came and she said, all right, you stop feeling sorry for yourself. She goes, get out there and make new associations. And that's Nancy. When you get to know her, that's how she is. And she said, you join my Rotary Club. And it wasn't like, do you want to join? Or I think this is good for you. She just said, you're joining my Rotary Club. And she's like, we call her the arm twister. So anyway, I joined, and it took me a few years, but I love it. And I think the thing that I love the most about it, well, there's so many things, the community service, of course, and helping others that are, blessing others, to me, I feel is a blessing to us ourselves. And then just as exactly what Nancy said, making new associations. And it really, because at that point, if you guys know how it is when you're at your lowest of low, my self-esteem was so low. I mean, it was beyond. And so, that Rotary helped me there. And it helped me to realize that, I am worth something. I can do some things, not a lot, Benson, you know me, I can't do a lot of things good, but I found there's a couple things, and one of the things I'm really passionate about is membership, because I feel that membership touches every part of Rotary, and it's the relationships we build that keep us in Rotary. And so anyway, that's my thing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Connie. And I wanted to actually give my spouse Zeta a chance to talk for a few minutes, because when I joined Rotary almost 10 years ago, her thing was like, oh no, what's he into now? All right, well, that's his thing, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. And then now, Zeta's club president. How about that? How about that for a metamorphosis? So, so Zeta, what's your thought? Reluctantly, she said, okay, I'll be the club president, but man, I got to tell you, she seems like she's really having a ball with it. And it's because like the people are just sort of rising up and helping her. But go ahead, Zeta, what's your impression?
Well, thank you, Benson. when Benson started, I'm not a club person. I was more introverted. So I didn't like to, I only like to be around my family. So I was really like kind of upset that he was spending so much time with Rotary because I didn't know anything about it. That's really what it was. So what he did, he kept saying, come to a couple meetings, and I said no. And then finally what he did was he got me involved in their service projects, the hula huli, the bell ringing, all that. And it actually, I started seeing the same people all the time, and they're so kind and giving that, and he also got our grandkids and involved too, that it became a part of our family to work these service projects first. And then I eventually just joined because he needed a treasurer. So I did that. I thought I could do that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I have to say, all the friendships and the relationships and the people are so wonderful, and now they're our lifelong friends, and they're actually a part of our family. So you can't measure that at all. But Ben is so involved, and now I am too, that when our club, we went through the pandemic and we lost a lot of members because our club's not it's not a Zoom club, right? So you have to kind of read the room, and they're just not like that. So what we had to do is rebuild, and we had to find people that really wanted to take it on and be a part of our club and work the club to bring it back to what it used to be. And we couldn't get too many people that wanted to do that. So I thought, I'm going to jump out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to be the president, because I knew that if you can show the people in our club the value that they have, that we could work as a team and bring our club back. And I feel like we're there. We're doing it, and people are wanting to join now. And it's so much fun being president because everybody's involved. I'm not doing it by myself. Every single member of my club is got a part in it. So I can't take credit for it. It's just all of us together as a club. Can you hear that? This is this neighborhood we live in, Ben. My God.
Okay, we'll move soon. All right.
Sorry about that. But anyway, that's my story. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Zeta. Very eloquently put. That was really great. So, hey, I wanted to reach out to Stephen. You're on the call, Stephen and Joyce from the Eagle Club, Caroline, and then we have somebody named Metro on the club on the call. If there's any questions or thoughts or input you'd like to have, anybody else on the call that would like to, put their opinions in that before I'm going to call some more people, but I wanted everybody to give a chance to volunteer. Steve, Joyce, anything? Caroline, go ahead. Well, that's not Caroline. Go ahead.
No, I'm a new
Yeah.
Rotarian. I'm a Peace Corps volunteer, and
Oh, great. Yes.
Peace Corps and Rotary have the partnership together. And I have to say, I went down to the dedication at the Hilo Airport of the Peace Pole, and all of you that are on the Rotarians on the Big Island have put us to shame, because we need to have a peace pole here at the International Airport, and we should have one on Maui. So I actually have been starting to work and network to see if we can't do a peace pole here at the International Airport, the lovely garden area where Hawaiian Airlines is. We have some contacts that know the mayor. We have somebody that actually knows Obama's sister. So we're going to try and get this done. So you put us to shame, but we're going to do it. So anyway, and most of you that are on the Big Island, the reason I'm a Rotarian is if you know Alan Kusunoki. Alan is a returned Peace Corps volunteer and twisted my arm that I should do this. So it's really fun. So thanks.
Thanks, Caroline. So, I wanted to shift a little bit to just leadership opportunities, and I wanted our assistant governor to chat a little bit about that, because I just really watched her from years ago, just starting to work with her on RILA and just going up through the leadership of her club, being the president of her club, and now as our assistant governor in East Hawaii, and then, you know, probably a district governor someday. You know, Beverly Hike has just always been really impressed with what she has done and her journey through Rotary. So I just wanted to give her a few minutes to kind of talk a little bit about her journey, which is kind of a cool one. So go ahead, Bev.
Benson, thank you so much. I was introduced to Rotary probably about 18 years ago. And I, at that time, had so many things on my plate. A young child, involved in various service organizations, and also working for a nonprofit. So I didn't have the time to add Rotary, but I always loved Rotary, and I was interested in all the work they did, and more so with the global work they did internationally. I've done a lot of grassroots work here in our community, and I always wanted to have more of an impact, be able to do more for the world. So time came, my son was in high school, and someone came up to me again to invite me to Rotary. It wasn't the first club that I was invited to, but the second one, it was the right time. You know, it was the right time in my life to join. So I joined, and that was 6 years ago. I joined for two reasons. I wanted to have a bigger impact, do more globally, continue to do the work I do in the community. And also I have this goal of always to be learning. And I saw Rotary as an opportunity to continue to learn, to continue to grow and develop, because it's so important to always be increasing your skills, or even adding to the skills that you always have. And Rotary allows that opportunity. So it's a great way for personal development. It's a great way to serve your community, and it's a great way to make a difference around the world. And that is why I stay in Rotary. Also, the people. I have met some wonderful people in Rotary. I met some wonderful people in the community with all the work that I've done, but the people in Rotary are extra special, and because they have a bigger vision and of what they want to do in our community and in the world. So thank you, Benson.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Bev. I'll always can depend on Bev to just hit it out of the park. So we're gonna wind it up. It's about 10 o'clock. But Kat, you just put something in the chat about a TED Talk. So I want you to give us a 30-second commercial on that before we wind it up.
Oh, sure. Happy to. This summer, I was one of 15 TEDx organizers from around the world to be attending the TED Summit in Detroit on climate solutions. And Sunday, December 10th, we're going to be doing an event online. And I'm going to give you the code to get in for free. Use the word climate, apply it in the upper left. Love Rotarians hearing about climate solutions, because we make those actions happen. And then, of course, the day before, I believe that climate solutions are an inside game. So I invite you also to work on your inner resonance for climate outer peace. That's all. Thanks, Benson.
Thanks, Kat. Thanks. Okay, well, hey, you know, hour zips by when you're having fun. So we're kind of at the top of the hour now. So I just want to make a couple of points real quick, is that in our district, we have an amazing amount of resources for people who want to know more about Rotary. And, you know, it's funny that Bev said, hey, I want to be a lifetime learner kind of thing. So Rotary you can take these online courses in Rotary. And I think in our district, Naomi, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Bev's taken more classes than anybody in the whole place, like by far. So there's lots of opportunity if you want to be constantly learning. There's that. But, you know, I think what I've noticed about Rotarians, just everywhere I go, not just in our district, but when I get to meet Rotarians outside of our district, the kind of a key thing with them is that they've all reached a point in their life where it's not about them anymore, that they want a purpose in their life beyond just themselves, right? And when we start looking at people that are not in Rotary, that are looking for something, that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, the number one thing that they talk about is, I want to do something that brings meaning to my life. And it just really feels like we're set up to just provide that meaning, that purpose in life beyond themselves for anybody that's out there. So we're going to try to do, I'm going to work with Naomi, we're going to try to do this more frequently, so more people that are even just looking at Rotary, like Paul, can join us. And even though Paul's all sold already, but it's really good just to have this information. And even for people that have been in Rotary a long time, just to kind of go through that information again and say, wow, I just remembered why Rotary is so important to me. But thank you for joining us today and all the things you're doing. And it's December, man, it's a holiday season. So stay tuned, and you can go to our website and stay tuned for all of the other events and things that we have. So Naomi, anything you want to say at the end? Besides
No, well, yeah, sorry. You know, it's
Yes.
so nice to see people from all over the state, and got
Yeah.
2 people from the Eco Club. They've done so much in environmental projects. It's good to share all of these great ideas, and peace actually is the cornerstone of everything that we do. So Caroline, we're going to be working with you on the Peace Corps, people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Take care. Have a great Saturday. It's a beautiful day in Hill. It's not raining. We love it. So let's get out there and have some fun. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.